welcome to another damn movie podcast. My name is Lauren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Casey.
What's coming out this week?
Lots of stuff. We're going to start off with the remake of Aladdin.
Yes! I don't even care. People are so against this. Why? Why?
You didn't even ask either of us if we were against this
I mean,
or
he did a big old, so like I know what he thinks.
She didn't even ask me.
What do you think?
What do you think I am? Guess again, bitch. Because I am into it, and I can't wait.
Are you lying?
Nope.
Why are you,
Because I feel like the original Aladdin, like, it's the only reason why I'm going to go see
But
this
they
is
all
because
have
the original Aladdin.
originals.
No, I know, but it's like, it's still like, to me, there's nothing, there's no quality to this.
To be fair, basically what we're doing is seeing a movie we've already seen before.
It's true.
Just in live action.
They are doing it with all of them, though.
They are, and I am actually pretty much here for this. This looks fun. Because you know who directed it? Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
And have you seen Snatch?
My whole thing is like, I don't know, when it first came out, the trailer, everybody was like, ugh, Will Smith, ugh.
He looked terrible.
I don't know. I like him as the genie.
He looks great now.
And, well, I don't remember if there was a big difference between, like, if they edited it or something. But even the first trailer, I was like, okay, so he's blue. Like, I don't know what the big deal is. Plus, it seems like at some point in the movie, he's just going to be walking around regular, not blue.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like if there's anybody who is going to try to, like, respect the name of Robin Williams, and he knows he has big shoes to fill, like, it's Will Smith. Like, he knows that that's a big role to fill. And I think, like, he's going to do the best he can in the most respectful and fun way he can. And I'm here for him as the genie. And I'm excited to see this.
I was actually hoping, like, more for a Daniel Day-Lewis for the genie.
No, thank you.
I'm a genie.
I'm a genie. I drink your milk. Okay.
I drink your chai tea.
Drainage! Okay. So the next movie...
Next movie is Super Bad for Girls. Booksmart.
Oh, why do you have to call it that?
I'm kidding. It looks like Super Bad for Girls.
Superbad was Booksmart for boys.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah.
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 Get on my level.
It's just because...
This came out after.
It's just because
I
Jonah
know.
Hill's sister is in it.
I know. All the
it looks
reasons
very
that make sense.
super baddie.
But, like, I'm so into this.
Yeah, it looks great.
I mean, I wasn't... Like, they're painting these girls as hardcore nerds. And, like, I did stuff, but let's be honest. I was pretty uncool.
You?
My friends and I would have sleepover and we would, like, pretend Mission Impossible. I don't know.
Have you told that to anyone else?
Yeah, like, well, they know. But yeah. We would, like, Emperor's New Groove to the music. Like, we just had fun.
Wow. I was already in college by the time Emperor's New Groove came out, so I'm like, wow.
Well, we had sleepovers and our two movies were, like, they were Emperor's New Groove and Legally Blonde.
Oh, those are two good movies. Did you watch them every time you slept over?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like our thing, man. So these girls remind me of me and my squad. That's all I'm saying.
Sure, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm for this movie.
And they're like gonna go to a party and they're gonna like experience like life before college.
They're gonna do the whole Superbad thing.
Yeah, that's cute.
And I don't want it to sound like I'm comparing it to diminish it.
I hope they talk about dicks a lot less.
I love Superbad, and I think I'm gonna love this. Yeah. Casey?
I'm gonna love it.
I don't love Superbad as much because I'm not a guy, so I don't know. Maybe I don't relate. But like some of the shit that happens in this trailer, I genuinely bust out laughing. Like it looks really cute.
And this is directed by Olivia Wilde. This is her debut.
Yay! I bet it's gonna be a good debut.
I hope so. Everyone says it's good.
Yeah, I want to see it.
It's already been to Sundance, so everyone says it's pretty good.
You know what I don't want to see?
Brightburn?
No, I fucking don't.
Is it because you screamed in the middle of
I can't even explain to the listeners. Like, there is a particular scene where there's like a diner exploding, a woman gets glass in the eye. I was already like, ew. And then she hides in the freezer, and the kid with his like, I don't know, Brightburn fucking eyeballs burns through the fucking freezer, but he's across the diner, and you're like, cool, he's over there, it's fine. And like, of course, within like a flash of light, he's right in front of her face grabbing her. I screamed bloody murder. I'm surprised my neighbors didn't call the police or something.
She really did.
I really did. And, like, I don't even want to do it on the pod because people will be upset.
It was frightening.
It frightened them because I screamed like that.
And then hilarious.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous. But this is why I can't see movies like this in the theater. Because who screams like that? Me.
I think you would make it better for everyone around you if you saw this.
No, because they'd be like, "Who's that back there screaming at nothing?"
It'd be terrible for me though.
So it'd be awful for you.
That's why I go by myself to see scary movies.
I just can't do it. My emotions too, like that will give me a heart attack someday when I get older because I'm still like eating poorly.
Do you know what I do when I go to scary movies?
Not look?
I scrunch down and cover my ears like this, and I'm usually in the front so everyone behind me can see me just going like this.
Do you know what I do? I use my thumbs to plug my ears and then cover my eyes with the rest of my fingers.
But, like, I want to see what happens.
No, I don't.
No.
Sometimes, like, if I can still hear the noise through me covering my ears, I'm like, so that I hear nothing. Like, because then that's all I'll hear in my ears. We should tell the people this is basically What If Superman Was Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about this kid. He comes to Earth just like Superman.
I thought it was about what if Superman recorded Michael Jackson's bad.
It's definitely not about that.
Shit.
It's this kid. He comes to Earth just like Superman did. Parents take care of him. Same thing, except he's the devil.
He's the devil.
And he's drawing these, like, devil symbols and shit. Like, no, I can't with this shit. Oh, my God, I screamed so loud. Next.
Next up is John Lithgow and Blythe Danner in The Tomorrow Man.
It's alright. I mean, this is cute, but, like, given everything else coming out, there's no way this is going to make any money.
No. But they knew that.
No, I know. But it is cute. It's, like, so, basically, John Lithgow's character is, like, all worried about, like, apocalypse, and he has, like, a bunker. And
he's one of those people.
Yeah, and then Blythe Danner is, her daughter died. She's kind of going through that emotionally. As the trailer says, she's stuck in the past, he's stuck in the future. How can they live in the moment? Cute. It's interesting. It's just, if I had to pick, like, everything else coming out, even Brightburn is very interesting. But I'm like, somebody go through it, watch it, cut all the scary scenes, and just so I can get the story.
It's going to be a nice, short, 10-minute movie.
Yeah.
I like Tomorrow Man because I really like Blythe Danner. I like the whole Blythe Danner family. I like Gwyneth, too, and I don't know, I just like her a lot.
Alright. What's next?
Next is a documentary about that Laurel Canyon, California sound called Echo in the Canyon. You know what I'm talking about, like the birds and Buffalo Springfield and all that old-timey shit that our dads stand. Wah, wah, wah!
I have to tell you, though, every time I hear music from that era, I'm like, I was born in the wrong era.
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
I love, like, I don't know, man. It's just, this looks really interesting. This is another thing, like you were saying, you would see this in the theater. I'm like, shit. I love all this music, and I love all these people talking about this music, and, like, it's just right up my alley. With everything else, though, I'm like, I'm not going to pay to see all these movies in the theater, so documentaries for me usually fall to Netflix or something.
I like new music. I like Billie Eilish. I like things. But, this is, like, right up my alley. Right down my alley.
This is in your wheelhouse.
It's in my wheelhouse. It's down my alley.
It's in your heart.
It's up my butt, in my heart. In my stones, in my plums. Let's go see this.
I mean, and I know, Casey, you enjoy music.
Never heard of it.
Have you ever... What, music? Music, what's that? Have you ever met anyone who doesn't like music?
I don't know, man. What's next?
Next up is Halston, about the fashion designer, a very famous fashion designer, and his life, and I guess he sold his name to JCPenney to kind of widen his scope, and...
yeah, this seems really sad because...
Yeah.
It's tough. I haven't seen the documentary, and I don't know this guy. But it kind of just seemed like he wanted to make clothes for everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
Not necessarily that it was like a money thing, because high fashion, him not making enough money, that's... Especially because how they paint it is that, like, he was the thing.
Yeah.
He dressed Jackie Kennedy. Like, he put the pillbox hat on her, or whatever they were saying in the trailer. Like, he wasn't hard up. So there was no reason to do it other than it seemed like he just really wanted to dress everybody.
Yeah.
And not everybody can afford high fashion. And then people fucking ripped him apart for it. And that just sucks.
I don't understand why people freak out when people kind of take their art a different way.
Especially because if you're a fan...
Yeah.
Like, look, I am a fan of J.K. Rowling. Whatever she may do on Twitter post Harry Potter. It's a thing she does. What are you going to do? But, like, I'm a fan of hers. I've read everything she's written. You know what I mean? Except for, like, this book of speeches that somebody compiled. I've read everything she's written. The Cormoran Strikes, I read Casual Vacancy, and I read Harry Potter. And people were pissed at Casual Vacancy. But I'm like, she's trying something new. And I'm actually kind of enjoying this tragic comedy. Like, why can't he make what he wants to make and you just support somebody you're a fan of? Like, I don't get why people had to tear him apart. Wouldn't you just be like, wow, he really wants to try something different. Oh, let me go see what I can get at JCPenney's. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like the fans were upset. It seems like the high fashion in general was upset.
Yeah, the people who couldn't make money off of him anymore because now he did a deal with JCPenney?
Yeah.
But it sounds like they fucked him too because they were like, oh, we own your name now. Like all of it seems fucked. It just seems like an artist got screwed and it's a shame.
Yep.
So all these movies, interesting. I would see all of them.
I would too.
I'm not going to see the documentaries in the theater because I usually wait. I'm not going to see The Tomorrow Man because there's too much else interesting happen. I'm not going to see Brightburn until you make me. So for me, the tops are Aladdin and Booksmart.
I think I'm in the same boat. I would see all these.
Yeah.
But the one I'm most excited for is Booksmart.
I think I'm the same way. I want to see all these. Probably Booksmart number 1.
Time for just the tops. No rhyme or reason for choosing this one. We just like this guy.
We like him a lot.
We like him so much. The tops category we went with this week is the top Golden Globe nominated movies for Denzel Washington. Here are the movies that Denzel was nominated for a Golden Globe. Roman J. Israel, Fences, Flight, American Gangster, Training Day, The Hurricane, Malcolm X, Glory, and Cry Freedom.
They're all good.
Casey, would you like to read your top 5 first, bottom up?
Sure. My number 5 is Fences. Number 4, Malcolm X. Number 3, The Hurricane. Number 2, Glory. Number 1, Training Day.
So there are 9 movies, and for my 2 spot, I have a 7-way tie. No, I'm just kidding. It was really hard to pick, and all my movies are rated nearly the same. All right, my top 5 bottom up is Glory, Malcolm X, Fences, Flight, and The Hurricane.
My top 5 from the bottom up is Roman J. Israel, Training Day, American Gangster, The Hurricane, and Malcolm X.
I mean, can we just, at the very beginning, say Denzel might be one of my favorite actors of all time. Yes. And, like, the best.
He is always good.
He's always good.
The movies aren't always good.
Not always, yeah. Even in a movie that's not as good, I can't stop looking at him. Like, he's so captivating, and he's just fantastic. And, like, there are only a handful of actors I like as much, and, like, maybe Daniel Day-Lewis and Tom Hanks. Like, he's fantastic. I love him so much.
I have a top 5, but, like, they're all ranked the same.
Like, when I said I had a 7-way tie, I wasn't joking. I have 7 movies rated a 4 on here. Like, I rated nothing below a 3.5.
Yeah.
My bottom one, I have to say, was Roman J. Israel.
Okay.
And that's on your list, and I was just curious why.
It would be on the bottom of my list too, because I think it's a kind of a garbage movie. But I kind of separated his performances into ones that were multi-dimensional and ones that were just one-dimensional. I mean, I know I have Training Day on there, but, like, I think that's a one-dimensional performance.
I mean, it kind of
is. Or it's a one-dimensional character.
Yeah. I was just about to say, it's kind of like a caricature of a bad guy,
right.
Bad cop.
Right. And that's why Roman J. Israel got the nod over Glory for me. Because I think there's more meat to it. I mean, Glory was a supporting role. This is a feature role. And it's also something he's never really done before.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's never been this character, and he was pretty believable as this character, and he really did carry the movie.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I couldn't look away from this movie was him. Otherwise, I do think this movie kind of, it fell flat in places. I'm not sure what we were getting out of it. Like, it was an interesting story, and it's an interesting character study on this character, but, like, for me, I'm not really sure what the purpose was of it. Yeah.
Me too.
You know, in the movie, Denzel is playing, like, kind of a lawyer that works in the background. He's, I don't know, maybe on the spectrum. Well, I mean, I guess like one could say that we all are on the spectrum, but he seems like he might be autistic or Asperger's or something like that. He has, like, this memory box. It's, you know, in his mind, like, he can pick up he just remembers facts so well. And the lawyer that he's working with, the company is like dissolved because they like not supporting themselves monetarily, and Colin Farrell's company takes over. He goes and works for them, and there's a lot of like he's having a little bit of a crisis here. He was an activist for his whole life, and he's just trying to maintain that and do that, and he kind of runs into this like have I even lived? Like, then he wants money, and then he kind of wants an apartment, and so it's all interesting. It's just out of all of the rest, I mean, it's just the one that fell the most flat. Like I'm not sure exactly where or why.
Yeah.
But his character is interesting.
Well, I just don't think it's a good movie.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty bad movie, and I didn't like the movie when I saw it, but I liked him.
Yeah, he was interesting.
I could put Fences here, but Fences was just so difficult for me to watch.
Why?
Because he was just such a bad person.
So I have Fences on my list as number 3, and I have Flight as number 2, because like he is playing these characters, and Flight, at least his character is slightly more redeemable, but like he's playing these people that are like just bad people.
Yeah.
Kind of. In Flight it's a little bit different, but just speaking about Fences directly, and I'm not saying he didn't go through things. I mean, his character has a lot of dimensions to it in Fences. He has been through a lot. He's just a man from Pittsburgh working as a garbage man. He just wants a little more than he has had, and he's in his 50s and he feels like he can never get it, and the only reason he has what he has is because his brother fought in the war and got a plate in his head.
Yeah.
And it's just, but like then he kind of works through his own shit in the worst ways. Like he has an affair on his wife of 18 years. He gets a woman pregnant. He treats his son like shit.
Yeah.
And he just he never recognized what he has. He just wants more. And I'm like, but this movie, and I can even say it maybe wasn't even his movie.
That's what I was saying. I think it's Viola Davis's movie, but
she's really great.
She's great, yeah.
And I mean, them together though.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god, I was dying.
He is excellent, but it's hard for me to watch him. It's at this point, it's the rewatch factor, and like I can never watch that movie ever again.
There's a scene. So after you find out that Denzel has had an affair, he straight up tells Viola Davis like it's not going to be a big deal. Like, I don't know, like he just thinks they'll work this out, that he's going to have another baby.
Right.
And he'll just move on. That's his character. Like
he just, whatever.
There's a wall, he'll crash through it and then keep going. That's his character. Like, he just keeps going.
Yeah, and like even with his son, like they have a fight, and his son's like, have you ever liked me? And he's like, I don't have to like you. And I thought he was going to say, I put a shirt on your back, you have a roof. I thought he was going to say, I do those things because I love you. How stupid am I? He was like, I do them because it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but why even do it? I mean, people let go of their responsibilities all the time. That's not where I started. I was just saying that to say that, like, his decision seems so off. And, like, how the people around him are going to react. And, like, he tells this to Viola Davis, like, I'm going to have a baby. And she's like, he acts like everything is happening to him and not anybody else around him. And they should just be there to support him.
Right.
And it's so fucked up. But then after the woman has the baby, the woman he had the affair with, he finds out that she died having the baby. And he's sitting on his dresser, like slumped with his arms out. And it's just, I have never seen Denzel in this way in my life. And he just looks so run down and like almost disgusting in a way. Like he's just awful, but he's so like dejected. I don't know why I thought he was going to kill himself. Like everything he brings to that scene though is why Denzel is so good. And I was like weeping, but like I don't even know if I'm crying for Viola or Viola's character or what. I was like crying the whole time in this movie, and I don't think I've ever seen Denzel play like such a shitty person.
Yeah.
But it's not like he didn't go through stuff, but some people go through things and come out the other side better for it, and some people just don't. And this movie, I need more time for it to marinate, and but I still really, like, I didn't enjoy it, but like I thought it was really nice. And then also, I guess I wanted to throw it a nod because he directed it. And some people didn't think he did a good job because this was a play. And they said that he was trying to stay too true to dialogue, so he didn't take any risks with the cinematography or the filming or whatever. And I'm like, but the play must be really important, and he probably didn't want to detract from that. So like, I get the choices he made. And there were some specific shots where I thought they were clever and smart and interesting. Like when time's passing and the weather's changing, like, I don't know, I thought it was good.
I don't know. I have it as my number 5, but like I said, all these movies, I mean, on Letterboxd, I ranked them all like
The same.
4, 4.5s, and the halves are mostly because of the rewatch factor, you know what I mean? I think everybody in this movie is fantastic. Literally everybody that you have in this movie is fantastic.
I'm kind of iffy on the son.
Which one?
The middle one. His actual Viola Davis's son. He didn't fall flat for me, but like Denzel and Viola's performances are through the roof. So anybody in comparison,
I think he's that perfect neutral. I think he's that perfect one in between. That's why when he sticks up at the end, it feels so much better.
I know, but in the end, his dad wins that fight, and it's just kind of.
Yeah, but did he? He got out of there. If he would have stayed,
you're right.
He would have been just like that if he would have stayed. That's why the talk with the brother, he stayed and he went through all that shit. Like nobody, it's like one of those things that nobody leaves that area because no one was told or shown how to be this in the world.
And he got out, and all Denzel wants him to do is stay, which is like, I guess I just don't feel like that's what parents should want their kids to do. But I don't know. I'm not a parent, so it's really tough.
You're a dog mom.
I am a dog mom, but I want them to stay.
Yeah.
But the
You're
thing is
Denzel
doesn't even like him.
Yeah.
He says it. But do you think he doesn't? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much...
All that shit about responsibility, I mean, why bother then?
That's all he has.
And if that's the truth, don't you owe a responsibility to Viola Davis?
He's his own monster because like he's not even... I think he's not even thinking of Viola Davis. He thinks like everybody's just coming here on Fridays because it's a handout. Everybody's just...
I mean, he doesn't know what love is.
Yeah, everybody's just a hand.
He doesn't. Because, like, he thinks he loves Viola Davis because, what, they can laugh together sometimes? That's his justification for having the affair. He can laugh. Yeah. She gives him something that he doesn't have. That's not what love is. Like, he is a really bad character, but, like, I feel like there are so many movies where Denzel is the champion, and this just interests me. And it's a hard movie to watch and to, like, work through emotionally, especially if you have problems with your parents. But it's interesting. And, like, and that's also another reason why I really enjoyed Flight. And I see that it's not on either of your lists, but for me it was just, like, in Flight, Denzel Washington plays a pilot who is an alcoholic, and he doesn't admit it to himself. But he's also the best damn pilot around. So, like, the plane he's on has an accident. There's a part on it that is mechanically not functioning correct. It should have been replaced a long time ago, and it wasn't. And the plane goes down, and literally the only reason there are any people alive on it is because of Denzel Washington. But he was drunk, and he's high, and he's always abusing drugs. And to watch his character battle through, like, acceptance and admittance of that, it was really interesting to me, and I've never seen Denzel do that. And I watched this one before Fences, so, like, to me the intriguing part was like a bad Denzel. I'm like, and not in the same way as Training Day, if that makes sense, or American Gangster. Like, this is like, and this isn't even a bad person. Like, people struggle with addiction all the time, and they're not bad people. It's just they're sick and need help, and it's just to watch him not really get the help until he's like, it's at the end when they're saying, well, they tested everybody's blood. There were only 2 people with alcohol in their blood, you and this other flight attendant who died that he was sleeping with. So do you think it was her? And, like, he doesn't want to speak against her, and that's what finally gets him to admit in front of the world that, like, no, he's an alcoholic. And he's high on cocaine right then, and he's drunk right then. And, like, yeah, he goes to jail, but he says he's free because he's not trapped by this anymore. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really intriguing.
I mean, I had it as my number 5 until I watched Fences.
And I'll say this too, like, it's my number 2, and it's because out the gate already, like when the flight was crashing and stuff, I don't think I was breathing. Like, it made me feel like... I looked over
when she was watching, and she was gripping
on
the couch pillows and shit.
Like when you go to the dentist and you hard grip the handle, like, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The whole scene, the plane crash... Tense. The plane crash was tense. It was done really well. And I just thought, Denzel, again, man, fucking fantastic. Flight might be a little too high, but that was just the first one where I had seen him like that, and I was shocked. But we talk about bad characters. I mean, American Gangster and Training Day.
Yeah. I have both on mine.
American Gangster above Training Day?
Yeah, it's multi-dimensional. Also, though, I did watch the director's cut of that, so there's more to see of him.
I said
that.
after we watched it, I said I think we fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I think I would have rather watched the director's cut.
Which is crazy because this movie is already like, what, 3 hours?
2.5. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that.
I think the director's cut is like...
It's like 3.5 or 3:20.
I think the director's cut might be 3 hours and 15 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours.
It's like an extra 30 or 45 minutes of film.
Yeah.
And we were even saying, like, Casey was pointing out, like, man, they jump from scene to scene, and he's like, where's the middle bit?
Yeah.
Like, we seem like
in
we're
the director's
missing.
cut. Yeah.
And I kind of just... the scene will be good, but it's just that if it's a 5-minute scene, it's the first 2 minutes where you're questioning
You're
something
like, wait,
else.
how did we get here?
It takes you out of it a little
it
bit.
does.
So
because it could have been epic, like Once Upon a Time in America or something like that.
Here's the thing. It was epic.
Oh, the director's cut?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we should have maybe it would be on our lists.
I mean, I think
again,
that...
it's tied. It's all
yeah,
tied.
it's still...
Yeah. It's mostly, again, though, that the fact that he shifts from minute to minute from this really bad gangster to a family man, to someone who loves his mother, and it's more of a realistic depiction of a gangster, kind of in the same vein as like Vito Corleone or Michael Corleone, or I mean that's really the only
one of the
thing.
Corleone.
Yeah, it's not a caricature of a gangster.
Yeah.
I like that.
I will say, I guess for anybody who hasn't seen it, and I know it's been out for a long time, but this was my first time because it's long, so you're initially intimidated by the runtime. This movie is about Denzel. He was the driver for a prominent gangster. After he dies, Denzel goes into the drug business, the drug game, if you will, for himself. And he's even becoming more important than Italians in this arena.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where, like, the FBI or the CIA, they're like, nobody has ever done that. And this is based off a true story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a true story.
Is,
That's what
yeah, and so his character, he's able to get a better price for bulk drugs, and because of that, he can make a better product, but also undercut people's price, and so he's just running shit, and it's basically watching Denzel's rise and subsequent fall, because at the end, what happens?
He gets arrested.
He gets arrested, and
oh right,
he flips on the cops.
Yeah,
that's interesting too.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know, just the way his character is, I never thought he would have ratted people out. But, like, they're cops. They're not people on his end.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm not sure he would necessarily rat out even, like, Italians or something.
Yeah.
But, like, there are dirty cops trying to take money and trying to, like, you know, they're on his turf and they're like, yo, you have to pay us to do this shit. Right. And he's like, I'm not trying to pay you. You know? And it was just super interesting. And then to flip on them, I'm like, I love it. This is a good character. It's not in my tops, I guess, because I'm like, I guess I like watching these downtrodden characters more because I think it's harder to play those characters than it is to play like a badass gangster.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the nuances. I'm not an actor, but I feel like it'd be really hard to play an alcoholic or like the guy in Fences. Like, it's such a difficult role. That's why I like them more. But like, he's still a really badass freaking gangster in American Gangster.
But that's not why I liked it. It's more the shift between that and
like his normalcy and then like his crushing a guy's head in a piano.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or like having lunch with his friends or breakfast or whatever, or his brothers. Mm-hmm. And then just like walking up to Idris Elba and shooting him in the head.
Shoot him in the head.
I loved it.
And comes back and just sits down.
That's the Denzel I'm used to. Mm-hmm. Like a Denzel like that, like the Equalizer or some shit.
Right.
Like, I was like, Denzel, what are you doing? But I love it. It's different from his character in Training Day because, like, in American Gangster, his character is... Not that in Training Day he's not smart, but he doesn't think.
He's calculating.
I was just about to say, I love the word calculating. He's calculating, he's smart, he has a plan. In Training Day, he's just like, I run this shit.
Yeah,
he's got
living.
An ego,
yeah,
he's doing drugs, he thinks he owns it. He doesn't think. And, I mean, it does catch up with him. Because Ethan Hawke is an undercover cop.
Well, he's working with him as an undercover cop. Yeah, Denzel was training him to be, you want to be a cop on the streets, you need to do street stuff.
And
you
Ethan Hawke's
do hood rat
like,
stuff
no,
with your hood rat friends.
I don't want to do that.
It's true.
Pretty much, that's what it was.
I mean, that scene, though, where Denzel gets shot is, like, I think that's an iconic scene. Like, people know that scene.
Oh, I like the scene before.
What?
When he's right outside the Monte Carlo and he tells everybody, King Kong ain't got shit on me. He's telling everybody.
I'm the man up in this piece. You'll never see the light of day. Who the fuck you think you fucking with? I'm the police. I run shit here. You just live here. Yeah, that's right. You better walk away. Go on, walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Oh my god, just him yelling that too?
Yeah.
Fucking Denzel.
The movie doesn't really do a whole lot for me.
It's a great action
it. Yeah, I
flick.
like it.
The only reason why it's number one for me is because it is the rewatch. It's something that could be like on fucking TNT.
And you'd be like,
and
ooh,
just sit
training
there-
day.
Oh, training day. And like I could go off and do whatever, but I know damn well I'll be sitting there watching it. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah, I gotta do this today. And there I am.
And
watching
then,
it.
whoops, now I'm just watching
Do you know what I
Training
mean?
Day again. With commercials, even though I own it for some reason.
Yeah, it's
Don't
just
you
one of
hate
those
when you
ones.
do that?
I do.
Yeah.
I do it all the time, too.
Training Day's not on my tops, I guess, because, like, I don't think it's as complicated of a character to play. Like, it's a bad guy, and I think it's easy to play a bad guy. I don't know. I'm not an actor, but it's easy to portray bad. I guess,
I
is
don't
what I'm saying.
think I necessarily would have nominated him for Best Lead Actor either, because I always think of that as Ethan Hawke. But, I mean, whatever. He got an Oscar for it and a Golden Globe. No, he didn't get a Golden Globe for this, did he?
No.
Mm-mm.
He's only won a Golden Globe twice.
Yeah. Same with the Oscar, but different different ones.
Which did he win the Golden Globes for?
Glory and...
Yeah. Oh, the Hurricane?
Yeah, The Hurricane.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the Hurricane.
But
I'm
he
pretty
won,
sure he
he
won
won
one double check,
Oscars for Training Day and Glory.
So he won a Golden Globe and an Oscar for Glory.
Yeah.
He didn't win anything for Malcolm X?
Nope.
No.
Guess who did?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Hoo-ha!
Yeah. Scent of a Woman.
Al Pacino. Yeah.
Hang on.
Al Pacino won his first Oscar for Scent of a Woman, where he plays the blind military guy,
Yeah.
over Denzel Washington and Malcolm X. Malcolm X also, which did not get nominated for Best Picture that year,
Yeah.
or Best Director, or Best Screenplay, or any of the other things it should have been nominated for.
I gotta be honest, I feel like the Oscars have done Spike Lee dirty for decades.
They have.
Like,
I mean, he came out afterwards and said, like, how do you give the Best Actor award to Pacino for what he did? But he said, I literally just had a guy with me who studied somebody else so hard and was that character, because he told a story that there was a time where they were just like in like a reading, like they were reading a script, and Denzel kept saying like, oh, I can't see, I'm having a hard time seeing this. He literally still had his glasses on,
because he forgot.
and they were like, yeah, like what's wrong with him? And everyone's like nobody said
He was
anything.
so
They're
in
like, you still have your
character.
glasses
Yeah.
on, and he's so in character with Malcolm X.
They do a little bit of this of Malcolm X talking at the end in his speech.
Yeah.
They sound alike.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god.
Just I mean, just
I
even
can't
the
believe he didn't
mannerisms.
win anything for that.
Yeah, I think that people often, and myself included, when it's a real person, it's like, oh, well, you have this template right here. It should be
Easier because you
easier.
can see what to do.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
I think
though.
too the problem probably is, even for me, it was hard to separate the ideals of the man with the movie. I think in the beginning times of his activism, he was a bit sexist, and I didn't like that, and I thought the movie portrayed it like that too. Spike Lee chose to show what he showed, and he showed Malcolm X being sexist. I don't love that part. The movie, to me, kind of portrays it like he maybe wasn't thinking for himself the whole time because he was part of this group, which as time goes on, Malcolm X begins to kind of distance himself from. He still believes what he believes and Islamic teachings and what have you, but he starts to think for himself and think about how he can make progress. And then when he becomes willing to work with people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and then like work with white people on this issue and like he seems less sexist, although it doesn't really seem to come up later in life. He seems like things are starting to fall into place, and then he gets assassinated.
I just don't remember what you mean by sexist. I'm not questioning it.
I mean, he
Just
basically straight up tells a woman that like he doesn't like them to talk too much. When he's like basically talking to Angela Bassett about marrying her.
Oh.
It's not even necessarily just him. It's like because he has this brotherhood of religious ideologists and things, they have these clear rules about women and relationships, and they're pretty sexist.
Nation of Islam.
And the guys he's following specifically, who later are revealed as being these total womanizers.
Yeah, they're hypocrites.
He's sleeping around and getting women pregnant and not taking care of the children. And, like, nuns for the cause, too. And it's just... It stinks because, like, you're like watching this, and yes, it's a movie, but like it happened, and yeah, you've got to like kind of read up on it more. How much of this is true? Where is Spike Lee like using hyperbole, things like that, or taking like artistic license? But it's really hard to sit there and be like, oh, I love Malcolm X, because like I don't like the sexism. The movie though, I can't believe how Denzel like was the man. Like it was it was really impressive. But this is also like a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
And it's
quick.
It didn't feel
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and like I weirdly I'm like, put more in. I need to know more.
Right.
And I want to read books on this now. I want to read books on Malcolm X. I want to read books on his thought process and his movement and the way he sees relations between races in America at the time. I mean,
Right.
I want to learn more. I think that's what a movie like this should make you do. So, props to Spike Lee. I mean,
Yeah.
I love all of these Denzel performances, but to me, like, none of them come even close to this. And the way he went from this kind of flibberty-gibbet of a man to a criminal, to an inmate, to an activist, to a holy man, to a preacher, to a hero, to a martyr.
so I don't know what's true, and I think I had even said to you guys, he seems like a person who can't think for himself. Because in the beginning, he has this friend who they kind of dress like I don't know, gangsters or whatever in their goofy outfits with these hats and these, I don't know. But he's like, his friend does it, so he does it. And then it's like, oh, well, you're going to commit a crime, so I'll commit a crime. And then I go to prison and I meet this religious guy who tells me all about religion. That seems like a good thing to follow, so I'll do that. And then he gets out and he follows that. He just seems like a follower the whole time until he starts thinking for himself. Am I like, yes, like now it's happening. And then he gets assassinated. But it turns out he never met anybody in prison. That wasn't real.
Yeah, no, I read that he didn't meet somebody in prison that showed him that way. You know what I mean? He was actually getting letters from people outside of prison, and I guess it was just like fan mail.
I mean, I guess the letters can still act as the person does, but it almost seemed like he was following all these other things on a journey to figuring out who he is and what he wanted and what he could do with his life, and like a lot of it just seemed like he was a follower to a certain point, and then he was not, and then it was like, and then he got assassinated, and it was like, damn. Because I would have loved to see the Malcolm X that developed after that.
Right.
Yeah,
After he started with his own ideas and thoughts and ways to make progress. Like, I would have loved to see the continuation of his life.
Yeah, to me, this is going to be really weird to say it, but like, because it's already a 3.5 hour movie, but like, I felt like the end, the last hour, was rushed. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted more. I wanted more of that, and they try to bring it all together, and I'm like, I could have used another 2 hours as far as it goes. You know what I mean? Like,
it's almost like there's not enough on this man. Like, you need to watch a documentary, read a book, just get more in depth, and like he's just a really intriguing person. And I was just gonna say the thing you were saying about where he was and where he ends up.
Yeah.
He's so important of a person, but like he's a human too.
Right.
And it's so easy to like take martyrs and be like, they have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and it's okay for him to be a follower at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Every human has a journey, and like his is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of the movie Gandhi, and he actually reminds me a lot of Gandhi. I mean, I know the ideals aren't
No, I know, but
the
I
same,
get what you're saying.
but
Journey.
The journey and kind of developing your own thought and being for one thing and finding out maybe it wasn't necessarily the right thing, and then getting murdered by one of your followers. Just for not being
Enough of what they want you to be.
right, not being narrow-minded enough, and it just seems like such a waste of human life. I think this performance and Malcolm X, the movie, are very similar to The Hurricane.
I think my thing with The Hurricane is, and like I know he's portraying a person,
What?
and
He's not portraying a cat?
The Hurricane was a real guy. I mean, after this movie, I put the book he wrote in prison on my to-reads list because I'm so intrigued by this person, say this character, this human being. The Hurricane is about a boxer who specific police like rig it so that he's always back in jail.
Right.
Like from the time he's a juvenile, this cop is just like on his ass, like trying to keep him in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Why? All these resources wasted, and it's just, oh my God, so much hate you have to keep this one person down. It's ridiculous. And then, like, to watch him struggle through his time in prison in, like, solitary confinement and saying, he's, like, almost going through a separation of self completely. And then this kid finds his book that, like, clearly, you know, he writes a book in prison, and then this kid finds it years later, and he's reading it, and he's like connecting and identifying so much with this guy that he wants to go meet him. And, you know, they get his case thrown back to court over and over and over again. They even go over the state of New Jersey because they can't get a fair trial, and he wins. And it's just, I guess for me too, the thing that it really has in my wheelhouse is that it's uplifting at the end.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's going to get me every time. If it's tragic, I'm going to be so bummed out. But I'm just like, wow, this guy, the Hurricane, had a hell of a life. Mm-hmm. And I was so intrigued by this, like, character study. And there were a couple times where, like, maybe once or twice where I was like, yeah, the movie's a bit slow. But
oh, I never thought it was slow.
Yeah, I never felt that at all.
And even in the Solitary where he's, like, talking to himself and stuff.
I think out of all these movies, I think that's my favorite scene. He's talking to himself, and he's just like, it's go back and forth, and he's like...
He even talks to himself afterward.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I don't know, like a devil or a conscience inside you that you're, like, arguing with. And like, this kid who comes to visit him, he lives with 3 white Canadian people, and people don't really understand. They're like, well, what are they getting from you? What are you doing for them? Blah, blah, blah. And I think they might have actually just been, like, genuinely nice Canadian people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get it, because it's like...
Most of them are.
Yay, Canada! And so Denzel is even, like, immediately suspicious. He's like, these are, like, your white people that own you. Like, what is this about? His internal self is, like, arguing with himself.
Right.
And he has to almost shut it up, because, like, he's arguing with himself about distrusting these people. And it's... The way Denzel plays is so interesting. Yeah. I just keep saying, he's interesting, but, like... He is. He's always interesting.
He and his character are. I don't necessarily feel that way about everything else that happens in the movie. Because I wasn't, like, captivated by it. Like, it was fine.
I love court case battles, too, though.
But, like, there were a bunch of scenes with not Denzel. And I'm like, well, this is fine. It's filler.
It's such, like, a testament to Denzel that, like, when he's not on the TV, you're like, bring him back!
Yeah.
More Denzel.
Oh, and that's one of the reasons why I also have Malcolm X so high, is that he's not in any scenes.
Yeah, he's almost...
I understand that.
Insane.
Yeah. It's really true, because if you think of Cry Freedom, I mean...
Yeah, where's Denzel?
I mean, yeah, he's in, like, the first part.
Yeah, once he's gone, it's kind of a different movie in a way.
Honestly, that's why it didn't make my tops. I still rated it like a 4.
Yeah, like, it's interesting.
But it's more Kevin Kline's story.
Yeah.
It's not Stephen Biko's so much.
It seems weird that it's not about
Stephen Biko.
Biko.
It's kind of white savior.
But, like, I get why this wouldn't be so much a white savior as opposed to, like...
Glory.
I know. And I know. Glory's my number 5. Casey loves Glory.
Yeah, Glory's a good movie.
It is. And like, I was trying to remember it, and I was like, I don't buy Matthew Broderick in the role. But then I watched it again, and I was like, damn if he wasn't perfect for the role for me.
I wasn't nuts about Matthew Broderick in the role.
I don't know if part of me was like, he's in the producers, how does that work? Because I had seen this before.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had, like, a warhorse situation on my hands, because, like, 20 minutes in and I'm already weeping. So it's like, I was crying almost the entire time. Matthew Broderick, he played being fair very well. His character's boring and sucks, but, like, he played that character very well.
I just see him as, like...
that goatee and that's it.
Such a weenie.
I don't think he's a weenie.
And, like, I look at
Why
Carrie...
do you think he's a weenie?
Because in every movie he's ever been in, he's been kind of a weenie.
But that's what I was saying, too. Like, you gotta, like, take that out. Like, for me, I think the same thing. I know it's hard, but that's what I'm saying. If I'm watching this movie in 1989... I don't know that.
Yeah,
I think
it's like...
I see him as Ferris... No, not even, because Ferris Bueller came out... Oh, no, Ferris Bueller did come out before.
Yeah.
So, in Glory, it's the Civil War, and black men are finally allowed to, like, enlist in the army and fight for themselves, and it sucks, because, like, his whole regiment, they're just, like, using them for, like, military labor, and it's frustrating because they want to fight for their freedom, and they want to fight in this war. And Matthew Broderick has the job of, like, training these men, but then also, like, one of his friends happens to enlist who is a black man, and he has to play this line of being in charge and being fair to everyone, but also of, like, being tough enough to make sure they're fully trained, because, like, war sucks. When one of the characters is shooting, and Carrie Ewells is like, hey, good shot, whatever, But I can already tell he's taking like 20 minutes to load his gun.
Right.
Matthew Broderick comes over and he's like, do it again, faster. And then
Well,
he
they're all
starts shooting a gun.
congratulating him.
I know, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not ready for war.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating to watch. And it's like, and I know there are those scenes that are quintessential white savior. It's like, well, they don't want to take their paychecks because the army decides they should be paid $3 less than everybody else because they're black soldiers. And Matthew Broderick says, well, if you don't take your pay, we won't take our pay. And then everybody's like, yay, white guy. And I get that. And I don't disagree. But, like, I think it was smart as a captain
No, I mean,
to show the solidarity. Like, I think it was a good move.
there's no other move that he could have done.
Yeah, he had to do that.
Yeah.
I would have done that.
I don't so much care about the white savior complex in this. I do think it would have been more interesting to have it from, like, I don't know, Denzel Washington's character's point of view.
Or even Morgan Freeman.
Freeman's. I said
Yes.
Morgan Freeman's,
Or
yeah.
Thomas, or any of the black soldiers. And
Yeah.
I recognized that the only person we know of was Matthew Broderick's character.
And wasn't this based on that gentleman's letters?
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, and I get that.
So,
Yeah.
I get it.
right, that's the tough thing. It's like when you're, how else can you tell the movie? Like, you don't know what those other guys were thinking.
You
You want to
just
put thoughts in their
extrapolate.
heads?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess I'm just saying you have the letters, so I don't know if that made it more easy to tell from his perspective.
No, of course. I'm what I'm saying is that, like, what he thought about this whole situation
They could have just
seems less interesting to me than what the people
fighting.
fighting
Yeah.
would have thought.
Right, that's true
And-
too.
But, like, how, you know, I recognize how are you going to tell that without just making it up.
Right.
No, I kind of disagree about Matthew Broderick being the perfect one when there was someone else cast who was I thought would have been even better, and that's Cary Elwes. Ewells?
I don't know. I always say Yules. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yules.
The thing is I guess I always see him as a little bit of a cocky shit, which is why I don't think he could have pulled it off.
I don't know.
Like, he's even a cocky shit in this
Stuff.
movie.
Yeah.
He's always kind of a cocky shit to
Yeah.
me. And so, in that way, I just can't... I can't picture him pulling off that
Yeah, yeah.
strictness that Matthew Broderick happens to do.
Yeah, I actually read that they both like hated each other while filming this.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Is it because Cary
I don't
wanted
know.
the part?
I don't really know, but they hated each other.
That's
while filming
crazy
this
to me
movie.
because they're both cool. I like Cary Elwes and I like Matthew Broderick.
Nah, but I have this movie high only because like I seen this movie I think when I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
It's the first time that I like watched a movie and I felt something.
Right.
There's the scene where Denzel is getting whipped or lashed
Mhm.
because he just wanted new shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, that part.
And he sits there. He doesn't sit there. He's standing there. He has no reaction. It's just all in his eyes.
Right.
Man, when I was a kid,
I could cry
seen
right
that,
now thinking about
I was
that
like,
scene.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Like I think I cried when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then at the end,
Yeah.
at the very end when he obviously
When he
picks
takes
up-
the flag. Yeah.
when he takes the
that's great.
flag, yeah, and he just yells.
I'm getting chills talking about it. It's
And on top of that-
Denzel is so good.
And on top of that, the music.
After seeing the last scene, like, I was pretty moved too, and then, like, I feel like the wind goes out of my sails when we find out that fort never got taken.
I
And-
think
Yeah.
that's why the first time I've only seen it twice. This is my second time. I think the first time I watched it, I was like, "Fuck you for making me watch this."
Yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't even
It
matter.
didn't even
Yeah.
matter.
But
yeah.
the thing is,
like, it did matter.
But it did
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this movie tears me apart.
Yeah.
And like Denzel specifically.
I cried this time too.
I mean, I really cried.
I cried when
Hashtag
they're
Brightburn.
walking to the beach, right after they had the scuffle
Mhm.
with the white soldiers walking by, and the white soldier finally says, "Give him hell,"
Yeah.
and Denzel eyeballs him. I was like, "Fucking, let's go!" Like I was ready. Like
I know.
it's so good.
It is a good movie, and then, like, it's one where I get everyone who says that the white savior complex in it is real, because I mean it is, but, like, it's also one that I kind of brush aside, that I don't mind so much.
I can hear that, but
Like, how else
would
you
you
gonna
like
tell
us
the
to
story?
tell it?
Yeah.
And they don't have to champion Matthew Broderick's decision so much, but I don't know if they do. I mean, they made him look like a fool when he didn't. All you had to do was ask Denzel why he left.
Right.
And find out that he needed new shoes. That's all you had to do. You're so stupid that you don't check why first.
Yeah.
You just assume he's deserting. What kind of fool leader are you? I don't think he came off looking well in that.
I think all leaders would have done that.
Oh, you think they would have done what he did? I would have straight up been like, what are you doing?
Deserted. Doesn't matter. Zero tolerance.
But he didn't desert.
It's tough.
Look, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's different
I think
rules.
a smart leader finds out the why first.
I don't know. I don't know.
I know. Well, I think people in the military maybe need to think a little more sometimes. Well, in this particular instance, anyway. And
Look, Civil War military leaders, think about this.
Don't add us, Civil War
Think
era
about what you
military
did.
leaders.
Especially you, Sherman. You burnt down the whole fucking South, man. No wonder they hate us now. I think all of these things can be true. I think it can be slightly problematic, but also be a good movie.
Denzel! I hope that people see Denzel and realize, like, what an American treasure he is.
Yeah, for real.
I love movies that aren't even on these, that aren't nominated for Golden Globe.
Yeah.
Like, I love John Q.
Yeah.
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire is my shit.
It's good.
God, he's so good. Denzel, you're a gem of a human. You're an American treasure. We love these movies. We love you. We have to move on. Keep it at 1,000. What did we watch?
Watched a big old pile of surrealism.
I thought you were going to say shit. What we watched was The Exterminating Angel from 1962, directed by Luis Buñuel. Alright, so here's this movie. Don't roll your eyes. I didn't even get there yet.
I'm just waiting.
Here's this movie. These people show up to a dinner party, and they're all having their din-din. And then they're like, they're rich people, so that, I don't know, they freaking retire to the, like, salon, if you will, for post-dinner conversation. I don't effing know. You know what I mean? Whatever you do at a rich people party. But then they're all in there, and when it's time to leave, like, nobody's leaving. They're all like, well, we'll just sleep on the floor randomly. And I thought it was totally weird because even the people that live there are like, yeah, I guess so that we won't make our guests uncomfortable, we'll sleep here too. And you're like, all right, I'm here for this ride, whatever. Well, then they're all stuck in there. Like nothing blocks them. Nothing that you can see blocks them. But, like, there's an open doorway. They can't walk through it. Every time they go to walk through it, they just can't. They can't get out of this room. And then on the outside, people start to notice that these people are missing. They realize that these people have not come out of this dinner party yet. And they start to show up and try to get into the house. But every time they try to cross the gate, they can't get in. So nobody can get out and nobody can get in. Before this all happened, all of the servants kind of leave the premises except for the butler, I guess you would call him, or like the head guy. And he's stuck there as well. There's a few couples. There's a psychologist or a doctor, if you will. There's like a woman with cancer. There's a famous piano player there. She plays for them. And they're all just stuck there. And then eventually, they all kind of reenact the first night and are in the same places and say the same things, and suddenly they are not stuck anymore. Then they go to church. I believe, are they attending a funeral of some of the people who died there?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
They're attending church, and not only are they stuck, but everyone in the church, including the priests, are now stuck in that church. In the same way, they just can't walk through the doors. All right. What do you think?
What do you think?
I like it because it's challenging. I like it because it's Twilight Zone. I was, like, kind of into surrealism when I was a kid. Like, I say kid, but, like, when you're younger and you're like, oh, MC Escher's stairs, that's so crazy. It's just Salvador Dali and Luis Buñuel were friends. Like, they're part of the surrealist movement, which some people would say isn't even a movement. It's an ever-existing thing. And whether or not you want to think about surrealism is on you. I think it's interesting. I don't live my life in a surrealist way. So, like, I can't necessarily comment on, like, what is surrealist doctrine. And I'm not, like, an art history major or, like, a surrealist movement artist. Because there are writers and cinematographers and directors. And Dali was a painter. So any artist can be part of the movement, but it's kind of a mindfuck of a movement, and that's the whole point. It's like, it's kind of melting together the conscious and the subconscious, or the unconscious. Like, I bet Sigmund Freud would have been super into it, because he was all into this, like, psychoanalysis, dream analysis, stuff below the surface, the id, the ego, the superego, all this shit that is like things you don't even know you're thinking about in your subconscious. And like, I don't know, surrealism like wants to bring that to the surface and then like grapple with it. And like, I'm not saying it's fun to live every day like that, but it's like an interesting thought experiment. I like thought experiments. We play Would You Rather all the time. Those are thought experiments.
I know.
All right.
I don't find surrealism to be a very compelling way of social commentary or art or anything. I know that people like it. That's fine. They're free to like it, as a surrealist would say. I just, like, it doesn't compel me. Oh, there's a group of rich people, and they're trapped in this room, and they're in this hell of their own devising.
Why is it of their own devising?
Because they're rich, I guess. And then they're too polite, or any number of social conventions that Luis Buñuel does not agree with.
But that's what's so interesting about it, because it could literally, like, I'm sure he has a set commentary that he's trying to make, although he never outwardly came out and said, like, what he was trying to comment on. You could read this from any angle and read into it what you want to read into it, and get out of it what you want to get out of it. That's why I think surrealism is so interesting. Like, what do we get out of those melting clocks? What's the commentary there that Dali's painting? Like, what's the commentary here? Is it what we make it? Is that why, to me, it stands the test of time so well? Because it can comment on a different thing throughout time? Like, I really enjoy it because of that.
Like, this is going to be one of those same kind of conversations where, as the same as, like, The Awful Truth, where you're just like, I just don't like it. And I'm, like, I don't find it interesting.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, and I get why it is influential.
We have our opinions.
No, I know. We all do.
I was on the fence with it. I'm in between you guys.
Right, and like, but I recognize that most people are into this movie, so like, I don't want to yuck anyone's yum.
I was watching a documentary on this after, which I didn't get to finish because I was watching it this morning before we were recording. One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting and funny, you know, Dali and Buñuel, like, they had friends that they would, like, go onto the train. They would have a woman friend, like, play a nun, okay? And then they would have, like, somebody dress up as a priest and go on the train and then, like, start, like, grabbing the nun, like, provocatively. And then they would have a guy dressed as a policeman come on and be like, you're always doing this, you're always grabbing the nuns, and it was, like, shocking to everybody on the train. And then they would, like, go get breakfast. And, like, it's fucked up, and I don't think people can live like this on the day-to-day.
So they're like, they just do Jackass.
Kind of, but it's, like, in a way that challenges convention, that is thought-provoking. Like, Jackass is like, I'm going to drive a shopping cart off a roof. Like, okay.
No,
what
but
would you do?
It's also...
what would you do? Or whatever, it's on ABC,
right.
Whatever.
It's also a guy dressed as Satan saying, Jesus saves. Like, I mean, that's the same thing as what they would have done.
I think that's funny. I don't like all their pee-poop humor.
Right.
Like, that's the stuff that doesn't appeal to me, but, like, that, to me, is a little bit funny.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, like, thought experiments. I like the idea of challenging thought. I like being able to interpret this how I want. Like, okay, so is the commentary that, like, the rich are basically just... It's kind of a circle jerk. We're all just up here, like, with each other, championing each other. They trap themselves in this bubble. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it's the same with religion at the end. Everybody's trapped in that church because why? They're all just patting themselves on the back for being such good... I don't know. What is the commentary?
No, I'm not sure, but I think you've got something there, because they are patting themselves on the back. And I think what's so ironic about this is that surrealism, to me, seems like such a pat on the back type of art.
Does it?
Yo, yeah.
Because I feel like it's not.
To me, it's like I'm hearing Buñuel or like Dali saying, "Guys,
look how clever I am.
Look how clever I am."
But the thing is I don't even think they're thinking about you.
No, they're thinking about them.
Yeah.
Well, because the whole thing is like this introspection, this digging out what is on the underneath parts, under the surface. I think it's like so introspective that it's like a little tweaked.
See, that's the thing. Like, I get vapidity from it. Like, it seems just so vapid and masturbatory to me.
Really? Why? Because it's easy to paint a melted clock and be like, look at my commentary on time.
Yeah, and then not have an actual stance on it.
Is it maybe because we live now and we know what surrealism became, but living then, it's a new, challenging idea?
Not necessarily. I mean, probably part, yeah. You have someone like Preston Sturges back in the day who's doing romantic comedies and, like, screwball comedies. He's confronting these things through metaphor and through, situation instead of just making it kind of on the nose. So it's really that just, it seems so obvious what they're trying to do. Like in the movie, he starts with a close-up on the street name. It's Providence Street, and the name of the movie is The Exterminating Angel, which was the angel that took away the firstborn in Egypt. And I'm like, okay, so the rich people are stuck in a room, and some of them die, and they can't escape. I'm like, God, man, that is a light touch on that one, Buñuel.
But I think the funny thing about this one is, like, of his other works, this is the one that he is on the nose with. Like, there are other works he has that are just straight up full surrealist. Like, I'm telling you, there are plot points.
Right.
That I'm not sure there are plot points in his other ones. And people are like, it's a tough watch, the rest of these,
I think the thing that drives me most to watch a movie is character. And to me, this is not at all a character-driven movie.
No.
There really are no characters. It's just rich people and the quote-unquote servant. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And, like, it doesn't grab me. I'm not receptive to the message because I'm just like, well, why should I care? There's no character here. And I recognize that this is an art picture. This is not for entertainment. This is for art. And I get that. It's just an art that I'm just like, meh.
I'm bored with it because I'm into characters as well. So there's nothing for me to, like you said, be receptive to. There's nothing for me to watch here.
See, to me, I could rewatch this because I think there are multiple interpretations. With that Exterminating Angel stuff, like you were saying, like, I don't think I had ever heard it called The Exterminating Angel. So I was like, I didn't put that together until reading after. But I did think, like, there are some weird things happening here with all these sacrificial lambs that they're eating. You know what I mean? I like it because of the rewatch factor. And then I want to pick out, who are the couples that died together? Who's over here dying? Who's over here being sick? Why does this particular woman have cancer? Like, for me, there's a lot to investigate and unpack here. I like thought experiments. And sure, there are a lot of different things that drive movies for me. But for me, this is all the thought experiment. Yeah. And I think that he's experimenting here the same way Truffaut experiments.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, like he's doing something new and different. And it might just be that this ism is not your ism.
No, it's definitely not. And that's what I'm trying to communicate to, is that I recognize that people like this. This is a piece of art, and I recognize that I don't have to like Dali. I don't have to like Buñuel, but I do like other art.
I think for me in the movie, I need the movie to stick to its guns. Like, if it's going to be great characters, okay, then it needs to be great characters. Right. If it's going to be world building, be world building. If it's going to be a thought experiment, then take it to the limit. Like, I want the full thing. I don't want you to half-ass it. Yeah. And there's even some points in the middle where it gets, like, full-on surreal. Like with crawling hands that people are seeing, and there were some flashes of things happening in the middle where I went, are we straight up watching that movie in the ring right now?
That's where it gets me, because, like, if you just want to have the thought experiment of why are these people in the room, why can't they leave, that's fine, but then why focus so heavily on Providence Street, and why call it the Exterminating Angel? I mean, that's what I'm saying, that these clues are so big, and that they're so important to him that you want to pan in. Like, it shouldn't matter what street they live on. And to me, that is half-assing it. Because I'm like, okay, you've got something to say. Like, I want to hear it.
So you want him to say it less, or you want him to just tell you? Is that it?
I want him to... Yeah, yes and no. I want him to pick.
Okay.
I want him to either just do it completely through metaphor, or do it through character, and that's just what I want. And, like, I recognize
I think he does other movies completely through metaphor that never landed because of that.
Probably.
And so I think maybe he was trying to point at it a little bit for people who maybe weren't picking up on his shit.
Yeah. Based on what he has made movies about, it's so clear that he's, like, very left-leaning economically. And if you're supposed to the point where he's like a Marxist. I don't know if he was a Marxist, but he seems like he was definitely a Marxist. And I'm like, if your own art can't be for the people, then what the fuck are you doing?
I will say this, though. Doesn't it seem like sometimes surrealists might be so bogged down in the art, they think it, like, is for the people, but it just isn't? It's not translating well?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at some of the stuff surrealists have produced. It's really easy to be like, what?
Yeah. There are often times when I think that it's very, very clear what I'm trying to say, and people are like, we don't know what you're trying to say. And I think there's this natural hurdle that we all have to jump between what's in our brain and what comes out of our mouth, or what goes on a canvas, or what goes on celluloid. I just feel like they don't recognize that hurdle, and they're just like pushing everyone away. And that just seems so weird for people who seem to be so anti-exclusion. Do you know what I mean?
But I guess I just don't think they're thinking about it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Because, like, the perfect example is, like, have you ever been in, like, a church or a quiet room, like a library, and you just wanted to fucking yell?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's a little monster in you telling you to do bad things.
No, I've had little monsters in me.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I think surrealists just do it, no filter.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting, because I think we all have that, like, urge to, like, appeal to the id, appeal to the lesser, and, like, I think they're, like, trying to bring that stuff to the surface and play with it, and I'm like, that's so fucked up. And, like, I can watch, but I'm uncomfortable too, and like, and you're almost trying to put it in a rational order. I'm watching the movie, I'm like, why can't they leave? Are they sick? Did somebody poison them? Are they dying? Like, you're trying to rationalize it, and the whole point is, like, you cannot.
Yeah. I find that impulse to yell in the church interesting too, but I just find normally the impulse interesting. I don't find, like, the product of that interesting.
I know.
I would rather watch a movie about Buñuel than a movie by him.
I'm curious to see if we can figure out his thought process. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
And sure, maybe you dig under there and you realize, oh, there's nothing under here to support this. And then it kind of sucks and it's lame, but it's like, I'm having fun. I'm along for this ride. I love this. I gave it a heart. I gave this 4 stars and a heart.
And like, I would never watch this again if I didn't have to.
Yeah.
If I had time, I probably would have watched this again right after. Like, I just would have done it again.
Yeah, it's just like I was just sitting there and just like, oh, it felt like 4 hours to me.
Really?
Yep.
It's almost like we're different people.
Whoa.
Hey Casey, you're here.
What did you think about all this? I apologize for...
Gave it 3 stars. But there was a part of it, like, I'm glad I watched the whole thing, because I could have easily just been like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because, like, I am such a character person that I want characters, you know what I mean? I want some development here. And, like, you don't get anything.
I do think so it's really
like,
difficult, too, because you were like, nothing happens at the end.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get any answers.
There's no resolution.
It does have this weird kind of Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, I like that.
But, like, if Twilight Zone did this as an episode, would you have liked it? It would have been shorter, more compact.
That's the point, though. For me, if it's shorter, then it's better.
Okay.
I didn't need an hour and a half of a thought experiment.
See, I think the hour and a half makes you tense, and that's what I liked about it. Because the whole situation is Lord of the Fliesing right in front of our eyes. It's becoming tense, and I liked the tension.
There's no momentum. It just is kind of, like, flatlined. And I'm just like, let me out of this room. It's like I was in the room with them. And I'm just
really?
like,
The movie did exactly what it was trying to do and make you feel trapped?
And I hate this.
It made you feel tense, though, right?
No, it made me feel like
that's a good point, though. If you're watching this in a theater and you're in a room, like a dark room, and you're kind of watching
afterward, and you go to walk out the door, it'd be so fucked up. You'd be like, because they all, like, when they get to the doorway, look up at the doorway, and I'm like, is something gonna fall on them? Like, why are they looking up?
Are they looking at the doorway, or are they looking at the exterminating angel?
I don't know.
I gave it a 5 now.
I like this movie a lot. Jimmy gives it a 1.5.
I gave it a 2.
Jimmy gave it a 2. Casey gives it a 3. I give it 4 stars and a heart. Try it. It's only an hour and a half of your time. If you hate me afterward, you can at me. But, like, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Even though I gave it a 2, it's worth watching.
Check it out. Speaking of thought experiments...
Would you rather be 50% good at everything or 100% good at one thing?
Oh my god, this is like a life question.
Yeah.
I hate questions like these.
100%.
That's so tough. Like, right now, I think I am the 50% good at a lot of things thing. And I'm always like, God damn it, I wish I was just really good at one fucking thing. I wish I was just not the jack of all trades. But it's really interesting trying new things. And at least I would have fun trying a new thing every now and then. And like, if you do that one thing forever that you're 100% good at, does it lose its luster? Do you stop having fun with it?
It depends. I think there's a correct answer for this that no one's going to say, but I'm going to keep letting you guys
Well, to say,
talk it out.
even if I'm 100% in on something, could I at least still try something?
Sure, but you're going to be garbage at it.
But still be garbage at it, but I tried it.
Yeah.
Okay, my right answer is I'm 100% good at trying new things.
Incorrect. You're 100% good at learning new things.
But then you will still only ever be 50%, right?
No, because you'll be able to learn it. So you'll get best of both worlds.
I don't know that because, like, your whole stipulation is that if it's more than one thing, it's just 50%.
Well, right, but if I'm, like, 50% good at being fluent at German, then I'm still
You're
gonna be fluent at
100%
German.
good at learning new things, but that doesn't mean your execution is good.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying, like, it's a good trick answer, but, like,
Then I'm going to be 100% good at executing all things.
I think for me, overall, it's just, it would be great. It's basically the question again of, like, celebrity. Like, we've done this before. Would you rather, like, shine bright like a diamond or, like, do a lot of good things? You know what I mean? A lot of okay, mediocre level things over the course of your life. And I think for me, in this instance, it would be nice to, like, be 100% great at one thing. Like, maybe you're even the best. But I think you lose something by not learning other things and trying new things, even if you are just half as good.
I think if you're 50% good at everything, I think in general the cream always rises to the top. And if you're 50% good at everything, eventually someone's going to be like, that guy's fucking good at being okay at everything.
What a multitasker.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he won't shine in this one area, but, like, he's the most reliable otherwise.
He's versatile.
I was saying he. I know I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, she or he or them or
They, whatever.
they.
Yeah. Overall, though, I think I would just lose the fun I have trying new things. Even if I suck at them. Like, I want to try stuff. I want to try to learn how to do stained glass. What? I know, it's weirdly specific. I don't care.
I think that's, like, I don't think anyone's like, that's dumb.
Stop coming at me!
You want to do stained glass, do stained glass. Jesus Christ, let's just hear what Casey wants to do.
I think I would be 50% on everything.
Maybe it's like the percentage that's throwing me off. Because let's be honest. I'm not 100% at one thing, but I'm not 50%. I mean, that implies that I'm like half-assing it. I'm at like 70%.
I know, that's kind of what I was just thinking. Like, if I'm 50% on something, yeah, I don't want to half-ass it.
Maybe it's like this. You're not half-assing it, but like, you're putting 100% of yourself into it. It's just, it's like that girl we saw in Nashville. She's just not a singer. And no matter how hard you try, you're giving your full effort. But like, it's definitely not going to be the best.
And
Yeah,
no matter,
is that what you want to be as a singer? Then just be 100% on being a singer.
But I don't just want to be a singer. I want to be a reader and a podcaster and a writer and a crocheter.
but here's the thing. At some point, you're going to have to show a room full of creepy dudes your tits, so...
I mean, that's why I don't want to be a singer.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 100% on one thing.
What's the one thing then? Being my husband? Oh my god, you're already at 100%.
He is already at 100%.
I just said that.
I'll 100% kill myself later.
Oh, that's so mean.
It's good that you're not going to half-ass that. I mean...
Jimmy?
I'm going to pick 50%. You know what? Yeah, because, like, I don't want to be not good at everything else. Like, that's the key to me. Like, I know you could be 100% good at one thing, but, like, I don't want to be, like, bad at breathing and bad at, like, walking.
Okay, well, now you're taking it so literal.
Well, that's everything.
I don't want to be 50% good at breathing. I want to just, like, do it.
All right, so things that aren't not,
like talents and skills.
Yeah, okay.
Not, like, breathing and eating.
I don't want to be not good at, like, driving or, like,
that's not a talent. That's like that's...
Driving's a fucking talent. NASCAR, baby.
What about, like, okay, I guess that's a hobby.
See, I would try to find something that's 100% and that's everybody can use.
100% good at money management.
Or like an entrepreneurship.
Or like playing the stock market. I think it's just that I always have this like itch to try something else.
You can still try things, but not even reach 50%.
Then you would just stop trying things because the failure would be so much and so often that what would be the fucking point?
But if I'm 100% in on something, that means that that's probably taking all my time, probably.
But you don't have to be 100% in on it. You're just 100% good at it. Like, it's like natural
I don't know why this just came to me, but if I was 100% like the best sniper in the world, but I had like no loyalties, everybody would call me.
Yeah.
And I would be like the best sniper in the world. Nobody could touch my shit.
What the fuck
that's
is the point of
no,
that?
hold on. That's the thing, though. If you're 100% good at that, you better be 100% good at dodging fucking bullets, too. Because, like, someone's going to take you out.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I guess, like, some of the skills involved with being a sniper, like, stealth.
Yeah.
So, like, he'd probably still be...
That's what I'm saying.
We've all played the video game.
I haven't.
Wait, what?
What, Lego Harry Potter?
Sniper the video game?
Oh, no, I've never played.
No, Lego Sniper.
Oh,
wait, yeah, I have played it. I would find a way of purifying water, so that literally everybody could have water.
Oh my god.
That's pretty fucking dope. Because, like...
Then you'd be like, everybody would love you forever.
Yeah.
I don't need everybody to love me forever.
Here's the thing, though.
No, but...
If you're going to be 100% good at that, too, you better be 100% good at dodging bullets, because water... No, seriously,
honestly,
water...
Industries
Water is, like, a huge commodity.
No, I know.
And
like,
it's a huge, like...
business.
Yeah.
It's a power thing.
It is.
Yeah, and if you take that power away from people who control the water, you better be 100% good at fucking dodging bullets.
Seriously, though, I mean, like, Nestle's buying water, like, everyone's buying all these water rights. It's insane. Like, water doesn't, like, belong to the human race.
It's not like it grows on trees, you know. What about you? Did you choose the...
I choose 50.
You know, if you're going to choose that, you better be 50% good at dodging bullets.
I am.
I think I might be 20% good at dodging bullets.
I think it'd be great. You've done a great job so far.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess, but nobody has shot it.
Yeah, no one's shot us yet.
Well, the sample size is small, so I guess I'm good at it. Well, that was neat.
Yeah, that was the thing.
It's like a thought experiment. If you don't like it, get out. That's Another Damn Movie Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're in your house. Tell your friends, you know.
We're on Spotify.
We're on iTunes.
We're on something else, too.
Google
The
Play.
internet.
Yeah,
The
Google
internet.
Play.
Like, yeah, the
The
internet
internet.
has us. Just look us up. Have fun with these thought experiments. Love ya. Denzel!